the regular iPhone 11. It has the 256 gigabyte memory, and it's the one that's the very light, pale lavender color. It's so pretty. But it's a shame because we also got the big case to put on it, so you can't really see the lavender color anyway. But I know it's there. So today it's going to be kind of a mishmash of stuff. If you see me looking over there, that means I'm looking at the actual screen instead of the camera, because the camera is like over on the side right here. So today's video, I have a few whips to show you. I hadn't really got much progress in anything. I have a few whips to show you. I have a little bit of haul. Nothing too spectacular though. I do want to briefly touch on a couple of books that I've listened to. I was going to say read, but I don't actually read books. I listen to them on Audible. I kind of briefly want to touch on those. And hopefully not just go completely off the rails on describing my review on these books. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, hopefully the picture is better. It's about, I don't know why I'm looking around, there's no clock in here. It's probably about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. Full sun, it's a gorgeous day outside. It's about 60 degrees today, so it's gorgeous. Welcome back, fall. We missed you. Winter has been a pain in the butt. So, I'm just going to go ahead and get started and show you. I don't have my whip list with me today. I just have the things that I worked on. The first, technically, is a new start since my last update. But you did see it in my whip down video last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week that I did my whip down. Unfortunately, I don't have any kind of cover picture to show you because there is none. But I did start the Jardin Privé 2019 Christmas sale. This is a 5-part series. She is releasing 1 part every Saturday. And I think I started it like the first week. I started it maybe, I want to say I started it Sunday, but it might have been Monday when I actually started it. So this, oh my god, this is showing up so good. This is showing up so good. This is a 27 count, they call it super linen by Charles Craft, not DMC. It's a super linen by Charles Craft. And it has that kind of oatmeal-y kind of look to it. And the red is a silk. It is by Dinky Dyes, and it is a color called Heartthrob. So that is really pretty. So far she only has the 3 parts out. So you had parts. One of these days I'm gonna get me a board to show this stuff on. So you had right here, and this big snowflake. That was all part 1. And then part 2, these Christmas trees, these Christmas trees right here, and the big Christmas tree, and this right here was part 1, and then the line across here was part 3. Part 1, part 2, part 3. So, yeah, that was totally more information than you probably needed. So, I like that. I love that. It's so pretty. It's lightly variegated. Sometimes in pictures it shows up more variegated than it actually is. But here on the screen, yeah, you can see it a little bit when I hold it up close. But I think this is so pretty. This is such a small project, as you can see. And then part 4 will be over here when it releases. It's coming Saturday, and then part 5 at the bottom. So I have been keeping up with that. So I've been doing good. This is the other half of that fabric. Let's see, Charles Craft cross stitch fabric, Charles Craft super linen 27 count. So yeah, I'm doing it 1/1 on 27 count. And I got that needle minder from when I bought a grime guard, another 8x8 grime guard, about a month or so ago, or maybe a couple months ago, about a month ago. She sent that one as a freebie. It says life short, stitch fast. So, how am I setting it over here? The next one, I worked a little bit more on another sow. Is the letters from Hogwarts sow by Cunning Cross Stitch. That Jardin Privé sow. I always end up having to go to the Facebook page, Jardin Privé Facebook page, and then you can usually find a link to her website there. But if you can find the page where the Jardin Privé freebies are, it'll say Noelle did gratuit 2019, something like that. I'll put the link to that sow down in the description. And I will also put this sow down in the description as well. Sorry, I'm trying to find the cover page among my little booklet of pages. This is what the frame looks like so far. This is a sow that's going to be released every 2 months beginning on January 1st. They just went ahead and released the frame back in September, and I'm still working on this up here. And I really, 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 really wish I could get this done, but probably won't. Just based on the amount of stitching time that I'm going to get in this next month and a half, I probably won't have all of this completed by January 1st. So, that's what that looks like so far. I mean, that's what the sow frame looks like. And each of those, each of these will be released every other month. So I think this one is first, and this one, and then one of these two, and then the other one, and then these two down at the bottom. Okay. So I hate that I had to take this off my Q-snap, but I needed my Q-snap. And you're going to see thread hanging, not hanging, but keep trying to pull this thread out of the way, and it keeps pulling my needle off the minder. So this is where it's at now. Since you've seen it, I've just worked a little bit more on the train over here. That's it. In my last update, I think I still had the very last teeny bit left on the wand, and then I moved into working on the train. But when you saw this in my whip down, whip parade video, I think I had a little bit more done, but that's where it's at now. And this is on it's a 32 count even weave in Stormy Night by White Shelf. So that is what the stitching looks like right now. And my little group needle minder. I got that from the Everyday Stitcher. So, but don't go running to her shop to try to order it, because The shop has been dead for a while, and nobody knows what's going on, if I'm being perfectly honest about everything. Then, I've also been kind of trying to get a little bit of progress on my stained glass Ariel. You've seen this 1,001 times. It's this one. I will finish this thing in 2020 because I'm tired of looking at it myself. I'm not taking this off the Q snap. This is where it sits at right now. I had been working, I did the lighter blue up here. And then I've finished probably the last half of this section over here, and then all of this section. And then I've started filling in that lightest blue. So that all gets filled in with this color. And then I think there's one other color in here. And then that will all be done. So it's a really pretty piece. I love looking at it. It's just so happy and pretty and vibrant. But you get tired of seeing the whip after a while. So that's going to stay on my Q snap. I'm going to continue working on that. And the last one that I have to show you, I've been working on, I worked a little bit on this yesterday at work. Or did I? See, I'm still in work mode. I worked on this yesterday a little bit. I did work on it a little bit Tuesday at work. And then I worked on it, did I get to stitch on anything yesterday? Maybe I got a few stitches in yesterday, not much, but this is Set by Cross Stitch by Long Dog Samplers. And I know we don't normally hold up patterns, but you see those pink marking? That's what I've done. So, just to give you an idea. I tried to mark off my pattern in a different color every time I use it. That way I can tell what I've done. So when I work on that after this video, I'll do it in another color. So that's where it sits at right now. That's just a little bit more from about here down. I was working on that border. Not much. That's about it. This is showing up really good. I love this camera. These colors are showing up so well. So, that is it for the whips, unfortunately. So, went pretty quick. About 15 minutes worth of whips. So the haul I got, for the most part, is stuff that's needed for 2020. I will show you the fun stuff though first. I finally got a Diana bag, and I happened to catch a sale. So I got this with the moths. I'll show you the back so you know what that fabric looks like. The moths and the spiders and the bugs. So, and then it has a nice front flap. I think I might actually use this for probably my long dog that I'm gonna, not long dog, I'm drawing a blank. I will use this for something that I'm going to be starting soon. Well, something that I'm going to be starting in 2020. I will put the stuff in there. So yeah, it has the nice clear. So I'm happy I got that actually. Yep. Hold on. The project I was thinking of, I'm probably going to put my just Kathy Barrick, Good Intentions. Sorry, had to repeat the phrase in my head. Kathy Barrick, Good Intentions will probably go in this bag. So, and I had to place an order with 123 Stitch to get some white Jubilee for a start next year. This is going to go with the long dog that I plan on starting, which is the descending order. I think it's such a beautiful pattern. So this is going to go with this. Yes, I'm going to do that pattern just on white because I went through so many different, like, what kind of color could I put this on? And nothing worked. So it's going to go on white. And it looks beautiful on white. It looks gorgeous on white. So I'm kind of in a place right now in my stitching where I just want to put things on white because I think they look good on white. But not everything is going to go on white. Only a few things. But since I couldn't just get a piece of fabric, I went ahead and picked up this. Yeah, I know. It's just a one. But in all fairness, even just doing these three is probably going to take me a couple of years. So, and I don't have an immediate plan to start this right now, but I do know that when I do start it, it's going to be on a very high count fabric. And I do want to stitch them all together on one piece because I've always loved how it looks together. So, that's going to be a thing. And while I was at it, I went ahead and picked this up. I already have the other three that I picked up from my LNS a couple years ago, maybe. But this was the one that was missing. So I went ahead and picked this up. And this is called Winter Redbird plus white. And just to give you an idea, there's the other three, sorry. I already had these three right here. But I just needed the Redbird. So, and that is by Ben Creek. That one, I don't know if I'm going to ever stitch these all together or if I'm going to stitch them separately. They're super small. Super small. Like the stitch count on these things is only 32 by 32. So ideally I could do them as ornaments or something. Or I could stitch them all together. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I don't have any plan on starting these right now anyway, so I'll make that decision when I make a plan for it. So, I also got, I did just get the other day, I got another piece of fabric from Hayde. This one is for a specific purpose. This one is a 25 count, obviously the easy guide, or easy count, whatever. I always get these things confused. Easy count, 25 count, easy count from Hayde. This was a custom cut because I need it for a Hayde that I'm starting on January 1st. And it is called Moths. Sorry. Yeah, this is going to be for the Hayde that I'm starting on January 1st. It's a custom cut. 22 by 25. So, and then the last bit of haul that I got the new cross stitch gold. I will go through real quickly. The first one, there is called Peace on Earth. Cute little angels. This one, I have to admit, the more I look at this one, I really like this one. The more I look at it. The snowman. It's a full coverage. Just FYI. Then we have Welcome at Christmas. And I think this one is Doreen Jones. Yes, this one is by Doreen Jones. That's it. And then we have this one here. It's by Leslie Tier. They put a lot of filler stuff in these magazines. Here's another one by Doreen Jones. It's like a Christmas countdown calendar. I'm looking at something. What would you put in there? It's supposed to be an advent calendar, but what would you put on the rings? And it does say you can leave the rings off and move that bottom border up if you just want to do it as just a picture. I don't know, what would you put on the rings though? That's my thing. That's confusing to me. I don't know. Maybe a piece of candy or something. Maybe that's it. Maybe you're supposed to put a piece of candy or something on them. If anybody knows, let me know. And then we had Treasured Memories by Maria Diaz. Then we have another one. This one is by Amanda Gregory. The birds. And I think that might be it. Maybe. I think so. Nope. I'm always wrong. And then we have a few Christmas cards. These are by Fiona Baker. So that is going to be what's in that magazine. Okay. So that's going to be in that magazine. And I did just last night. I did actually download a pattern. Me and my son got into discussing yesterday through messaging what he likes. What kind of things he likes and what he doesn't like. So, if you remember, I was stitching the mini Simply Meant to Be by Hade for him. And I haven't gotten too far in it, which is, it's fine. It was never like a rush job anyway. And so I think, according to him, he's kind of not off of Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think he's kind of pulled back from it a little bit. And because I was asking him, he was telling me the things that he liked, because me and my boyfriend were out shopping, and I was in Spencer's, I think, and I was asking him like what kind of stuff you like. And he told me a few things. And I said, you still like Nightmare Before Christmas, right? And he got back to me, he was like, it's alright. And I asked him, I was like, you don't like Nightmare Before Christmas anymore? And he basically was just like, he's like, I'm not in love with it anymore. He's like, I'm just not in love with it. So basically what I get is that he doesn't hate it anymore. He's just not as into it as he used to be. And maybe part of that might have been like his girlfriends at the time or something. And so we got to talking, and I was asking him about, I was like, if you don't want me to do this cross stitch pattern for you, let me know, because it's easier for me to, you know, to know now before I get too deep into it, that I can, you know, that I can do something else if you want a cross stitch pattern at all. If not, that's fine. I don't mind. I don't care. And he was telling me that he was telling me that he really he would have liked to have had something for Ghost in the Shell. And so I was looking online. The only pre-existing pattern I could find was something from an Etsy shop, but they didn't have it available anymore. And it may have been a licensing issue or something. But I told him, I was like, if you like this design, I sent him a picture of the design, and I was like, if you like this, something like this, I can message the seller and see if it's still available for sale. Or I told him, I said, you can find a design that you like, find an image that you like, and I can chart it myself with the program. So he was looking at images online. I forwarded a couple of images to him, and I said, what about Cowboy Bebop? Because he said Cowboy Bebop was one of the ones that he said he liked earlier in the day. And so I looked around and found a pattern for Cowboy Bebop. And so it's so much simpler than this hay that I'm doing. I'm just trying to get there it is. I'm just trying to get the cover image. So I found this design, from an Etsy shop. And it's not even written in the pattern. I will edit right here what shop I got it from, because I'm currently using my phone and I can't look it up. So this is the design. No, it's not full coverage. It is just this color right here, and you stitch it on black fabric. So this is a character called Spike from the show Cowboy Bebop. And my boyfriend played me the intro to the show last night, and this is kind of like it's taken from an image from the intro. So I'm going to stitch this for him. So, and yes, I'm going to get on black fabric. I had an 18 count Ada in my stash that I'm going to do it on. It's not very big, and like I said, it's not full coverage, only this color that you see, so it's not going to take nearly anywhere near as long as that hay would have taken me. On 18 count, I did write the measurements down. On 18 count, it's only going to be just under 6.5 inches high by just over 9.5 inches wide. So it should hopefully fit in a 8x10. It'll definitely fit in the 8x10. Definitely. It'll be a close fit on the sides, but it gives me about a third of an inch on either side. Anyway, it should fit in an 8x10, so I can just easily go and buy an 8x10 frame. So I got that. I'm going to be starting that today once I get done with my videoing. I kind of have another one in mind that I want to do when I get done with this one. So I guess that's all the fun stuff. This is the best barbecue in the South. Just saying. So, books. I know I said I was going to talk a little bit about some books. The first book I read was kind of at the suggestion of another Flosstuber. And I had been eyeing this book on Audible, but I wasn't sure about it. And so a while back, I heard Melanie Watkins in one of her videos kind of speak a little bit about this book and how good it was. And she highly recommended it. And I will highly recommend this book as well. It's called Where the Crawdads Sing. I don't remember who the author is. I will put up the cover and everything right here. This story essentially, it's kind of, it has a murder mystery aspect to it. It kind of centers on the life of a girl named Kaya. She was born and has grown up in the backwoods marshes of North Carolina. It's a fictional North Carolina town. Trust me, I looked it up. In the marshes of North Carolina. And this is in between 1950, I think it said she was born in like 1945. The events of the book take place between 1952 and I think 1972 or 73, somewhere like that. But it opens up, it goes back and forth between her life and then like a flash forward. And then eventually the book catches up to the flash forward, which starts taking place in 1969 with the murder of one of the town residents, a young man. And the book, it starts back at the life of this girl named Kaya. When she's 6 years old, 5 or 6, her mom walked out. And she has her dad is kind of abusive. He's a drinker and he's kind of abusive. And after her mom walks out, eventually, after a while, her siblings start leaving the house and never coming back. And her dad eventually, she tries, it's just her and her dad for a while, and she tries to basically be on his good side to keep him from directing any kind of wrath toward her. So she's cooking the best she can, and she's kind of trying to keep the house clean and whatnot, and things are good for a while. And then a letter comes. She can't read. A letter comes and it basically throws her dad off the rails again. So one day he goes out on his boat, which their main form of transportation is a boat, because they're kind of like on an island type of thing. So where to get anywhere you have to go by boat. You either go back this way through the marshes, or you go out this way out in water. So her dad goes out in the boat one day. He probably gets to work by boat, and it's not unusual for him to be gone for a couple of days at a time, but he just never comes back. So here is this young girl, I think she was 6 or 7, on her own, trying to make a way of life. She eventually starts getting money by collecting mussels and stuff like that, selling them to a local tradesman of sorts, store owner, tradesman guy. And she is basically her making her own way in life. And when she meets a boy as a friend that she's known, and they basically growing up together, you know, her being by herself and her interactions with the world, with the people in the town nearby, because marsh people are basically seen as trash, and there's still the element of 1950s, 1960s segregational racism. So you have the guy that she sells to is a black man, and there are scenes that take place in the black area of the marsh. So it's a very, very in-depth I don't know any other word to describe it. It's a very, very in-depth. It's superbly written, with the descriptions and feeling the emotions that this girl feels for things, because she doesn't know how to react to things. Sorry. Feeling the emotions that this girl feels, you know, and trying to experience things through somebody who's literally having to learn everything on her own. Luckily, her friend, God, I can't remember his name, Tate, this little boy, this friend of hers, teaches her how to read, because she grew up so many years of her life not knowing how to read and not knowing money denominations and simple things like that. But she grows up, she's very smart, she keeps learning and learning about the ecosystems of the marshes around her, the animals and the bugs and stuff like that. Very smart. Little bit of a spoiler, she ends up writing books and becoming a very successful writer. But it's a I don't know any other words to describe it. It's just a very, very good book. So if anybody has seen this book on the shelves or on Audible or whatever, definitely go pick it up and read it or listen to it. The audio version, and I'm usually pretty picky about audio, about the people that they get to read these things. Even the audiobook is good. The performance is really good. So definitely go check that one out. Again, that is called Where the Crawdads Sing, and highly recommend it. The next book I read after Where the Crawdads Sing is called Truth and Lies. What can I say about this book? This book did I read Truth and Lies next, or was it something else? Yeah, it was called Truth and Lies. And I will put the image of the cover right here. This one was a little bit less dynamic. This book is about a police DI, and instantly you should know that if they're using terms like DI, then it's British based. So it's about a woman named Alex Winter, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the first in the series. I don't know. I think it's the first in the series. And she finds out through a letter that her mother and father, her mom and dad, were infamous serial killers. And she was adopted out at 4, and her father has since passed away. Her real biological father has since passed away, and her biological mother sends her a letter from jail, and reminding her that this is who she is, and bringing up, and she starts remembering all these things, because she has dug these things down deep inside of her. And they're pretty much regressed at this point. Like she has gone completely blank over her past. And so her biological mother is saying, you know, I will tell you, come meet with me, I'll tell you where the bodies of these other 3 victims are that y'all never found. But, and it takes her, and she kind of leads her into a series of, I'll tell you where this one body is found if you do this for me first. Meet with this sibling, meet with that sibling, you know, that kind of thing. And because when she died, and when she was, her real family, her biological family, she lost one sister when she was 4. And she still has another biological sister and a biological brother. So her mom's trying to get her to meet her biological siblings. And so it's about this woman trying to balance both finding out this information about her past with, she's a police detective, and she's trying to stay on a narrow path with conflicting emotions about, you know, if these people are these monsters are my family, what kind of person am I? You know, does this say that I'm just like them? So it's kind of an interesting book, though. It's a little slow moving, but there's nothing real big that blows up and happens. But it moves at an interesting pace. It does move at a steady pace. It's just a little slow for me. The ending of it, I fully went into the end of the book, thinking, you know, it's a good book in its own, but I don't know if I would carry on listening to the rest of this stuff, and I still don't know. So, the end of the book, there's kind of a prologue, right? An epilogue, sorry, there's an epilogue. And it kind of takes an interesting turn. So, I'm kind of on the fence now. I would listen to it, if I happen to come across an Audible credit that I just don't know what to do with. But I may or may not continue in the series, but as of right now, not at this time. And the third book that I have to tell you about, the last book that I have to tell you about, is something that I just got done listening to like a couple days ago. And I'm trying to bring it up in my mind because I just went blank. Oh, it's called Then She Was Gone. This is another book that's British based. And in this book, a girl named Ellie Mack went missing. She walked out of her house, headed toward the library, and was never seen again. And it kind of jumps forward at a couple different places. Like, it goes back and forth, actually. There's a here and now. It's kind of told in a couple of different ways. You get part 1, which is told mostly through the mother, and what happened with her when her daughter disappeared, what happened in the years afterward. And then you get a part that's mostly told by another individual connected to the story. And in the very end, there's a part, a chapter or 2 told by a third person in the story. So the first part is told back and forth between the mother and the daughter that disappeared. It's a very interesting book. At first, I wasn't into it, but then the further I got into the book, it started getting a little bit more interesting. Things started to pick up as far as things happening. And it's a very interesting book. It's a good book. And the girl has gone missing, and at first it jumps forward like 3 years later, and then 7 years later, when they finally found her bones, some of her bones, and her book bag, her bag that she had left the house with. And then I think another couple of years go by, 2 or 3 years go by, and it's now 10 years later. So on the 10-year anniversary of her death, of her disappearance, a TV program has run kind of a recreation of what happened. And she ends up several months later, I think, meeting a man in a little bakery or coffee shop. Hi. Sorry, doggy's in here. Come here. You don't get to get on camera much, do you? Yeah. So she meets a man, and things are going really well. He's really nice. He doesn't like being held. He's really nice. He's really sweet. He's an amazing man, and he has an older daughter and a younger daughter. The younger daughter is where things get a little bit because the younger daughter is almost a spitting image of this woman's daughter that disappeared. And so she finds it a little funny. And for a while in the book, you know, you find out, well, this is this girl's mother. This is, it talks a lot. It spends some time on the relationship between the woman and this man that she meets. And so then we start getting into I think where something finally happened was when the woman, her son, because she also has another daughter and another son, they're both older, her son's girlfriend mentions to her after a family get together where they were all kind of together. The new boyfriend comes with her, and then and his younger daughter. The woman's son, his girlfriend, tells her that there's something about this man that isn't right. He has a very weird aura. So things start picking up from there about her finding out about who he is really, and the story of this girl's mother. So it's just, and you really find out, in a sense, I went into this book knowing, okay, I know what's going to happen. And I did. I kind of did. But it kind of played out the way I thought it might. But not exactly. And I swear, I have never, there's a character in this book called Noelle. I have never hated so much. I have never hated a character as much as I hated this character, Noelle, from the get-go. I did not like her. And then the story picks up to something that she did involving this woman's daughter. I never hated this woman so much. She is an evil person. And she has no, I would say she has no soul. And she's selfish. And she doesn't like kids at all. She's a bit obsessive. I would even go so far as to say I don't know if she has any morals. But I just did not like this character whatsoever at all in this book. Especially after finding out what she did. For me, it was cringeworthy. I was so mad at something that happened. I was just so mad. And I was just like, ugh, like how, why? Like it didn't make sense to me. So I would say go pick this book up. But just be aware that I'm not going to say there's child abuse in it, but I'll give you a little spoiler. If you don't want to hear a spoiler about the book, just turn it down. Just turn off the sound for like two minutes. Noelle kidnaps Ellie and keeps her down in her basement, but alive, well fed. Takes care of her until she does something completely horrible. And Noelle happens to be with the man that the mom is now seeing. And this was in the past. So these events are what happened in the days and the weeks and the months and the years following the girl Ellie's disappearance. So I just know that this book is the first book I've had in probably a very long time, if ever, to elicit such an emotion from me. Complete and utter hatred for a character. So, but that's all I can say about this book. It's a good story. Hated Noelle. So that's all I had to talk about. And that was, again, that book was called Then She Was Gone. So yeah, I guess that's gonna be it for today. There's not a lot of personal stuff to talk about. Very busy at work, and I've been putting in for other jobs, hoping something will stick. Just throw something at it and hope it sticks. But the downside is a lot of the jobs that I think I qualify for, I just, like, it just, sometimes you want something and it just doesn't happen because, and you know it wasn't going to happen. So, but that's going to be it for me today, guys. I apologize. I was hoping this video would be a little bit shorter, but apparently not. Apparently I still continue to talk for an hour. I'll find something to talk about. I'm about to go, there's a few ladybugs crawling on the window. Sorry, that's why I keep looking up. When I get done, I hit cut. I am probably going to go out or go dye some fabric. While it's such a nice day outside, I wanted to do at least dye a couple of pieces outside with my mist dyeing. And then I'll do some other pieces inside with the regular standard immersion. I kind of want to make some needle minders. I forgot to pick up things at Hobby Lobby this morning to make needle minders. Well, I mean, I have some things I can make needle minders with, but I kind of wanted to pick up some more. So I do need to get some more fabrics in my shop. I was looking the other day, and apparently it's been a very long time. I finally had gotten a sale in my shop, and I'm shocked about that. If you're watching this, I appreciate that. But I realize it's been a very long time. It's been over a year. It's been at least a year or better since I've listed anything new in my shop. And I know that because I remember there being some fabrics I had, and I think one of them is orange, and it's still in my shop. It has kind of an orangey kind of look to it, and so I named it Jack in association with Halloween. So that's how I know. So I'm gonna dye some fabric. I don't have any. I had 2 days off this week because I'm not gonna get a day off next week for Thanksgiving. Oh, excuse me. I mean, I'm gonna get 3/4 of Halloween of Thanksgiving off, but I have to be at work at 6. Right? Yeah, I have to be at work 6, which means I have to leave here at 5. So I don't get a day off next week. So I have yesterday and I have today off. So I'm trying to get some stuff done. And he was telling me, he's like, you need to rest. You need to you need to relax. Do some stitching or something. He said, because you have a bad habit of not resting, of not slowing down on your days off. I was like, there's always something that needs to get done. I can't help it. And so I'm going to try to enjoy some of my day today. There's another video. I have a crafting thing that I want to do, that I'm going to do a video for. So I might go ahead and film that and then do my fabrics, cause I have to get the fabrics done kind of early, or I might do the fabrics and then come back to the other video. Who knows? We'll figure it out. So, yeah, I'm about to go dye some fabric, and then try to enjoy as much of this day off as I can before I have to go back to work tomorrow. So that is definitely going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. If you don't have family to spend it with, just remember, friends are family too. And it doesn't have to be blood that you spend it with. It could be whoever you care about in your life. Just spend time with them, because you never know. Another person might be needing that. And if you do have family to spend it with, just be thankful for them. Be thankful for your friends too, because they pick us too, you know. So until I see you guys again next time, be awesome to yourself and be awesome to each other. Bye.